Thank you so much for joining us today in the celebration of Dead by Daylight's 6th anniversary. I'm Stéphane Beauchamp, Senior Producer on the project, and I'm joined by Justin Brown, Senior Product Manager on the project. In today's panel, we will have a look at the upcoming content for next year, so Dead by Daylight's 7th year, the planned chapters, as well as our 4 main pillars for the game. Before we dive into that, however, this is a really good opportunity to look at our accomplishments from last year and talk a bit more about what we're particularly proud of or excited or happy that was released over the last year. For me, I'm always extremely impressed by the quality of our journal content, and the Portrait of Murder chapter was another one that really left a mark on me. But that being said, Year 6 was an amazing year when it comes to licensed content, with the addition of Resident Evil, Hellraiser chapter, as well as Ringu, 3 classic cult horror icons into our game. And it really warms my heart to see all of those different characters come together in the one and the same game. Is there anything you're particularly proud of that we did last year?
Yeah, of course. The first thing that comes to mind is the updated onboarding and tutorial. Seeing that come out to such a positive reaction within our community was really amazing, really rewarding for the team that worked so hard on those features. The next would be the 2 brand new maps we introduced last year. It had been a long time since we introduced new maps, and the team totally delivered on those maps, visually stunning. And that's not to mention the unbelievable job they did on the Haddonfield rework, which recently released. And last but not least, it would be the Snowman event. All of the hilarious memes, movies, memories that were shared in that sort of holiday season was unbelievably amazing, and something I hope we can recreate again this year. Now, I'd like to take this moment just to mention that when we develop our roadmap, we always aim at delivering the most quality as we possibly can for you, our players. However, as it is a live tool, we are constantly having to update it due to urgent issues or new opportunities that arise throughout the year. As such, there were a few features we mentioned during last year's anniversary stream that still have not made their way into the game. Fear not, we will be talking about most of those features later today. Now, when we talk about what's coming up in the next year, first, I'll tell you some of the things we know we can expect throughout this next year. There will be 4 new chapters, which means 4 new killers and their survivor counterparts, of course. In addition to that, there will be 4 tomes in the archives, diving deeper into our characters' lore. And with the narrative direction around the Observer's Tower going in a new direction, we're all super excited to watch that unfold.
What is this all about? We'll learn more over the coming year. It's really exciting. For some of you who have been with us over the past year, the 4 pillars will probably be known to you all. They're really things we have continuously worked upon over the last 6 years of the game. So our 4 pillars composing the roadmap for this year are game health, quality of life updates, life design, as well as our events. You want to give us a bit more info about the
Game health. Yeah, sure, I will. I would love to, Stéphane. When we talk about game health, there are some aspects of game health that will always be ongoing priorities for us, such as security improvements and game performance optimizations. But this year, we're putting an added focus on matchmaking. We want to improve the matchmake wait times as much as we can, in addition to accounting for the various play styles we see throughout our community and rewarding them as such. When we talk about matchmaking, though, it's also very much a quality of life topic, which segues very well into our second pillar.
It is an amazing segue, as if it was planned all along. You're a natural at that. Talking more about quality of life improvements and updates, you did talk about the roadmap and how we continuously shift things around and such. We use a lot of the feedback from the community to feed into that. And as such, CSAT surveys are a really important part for that, forums, social networks, et cetera, et cetera. When we did announce the autoban feature during last year's anniversary, it was met with a lot of mixed feelings from the community. And as such, we really held off a bit to make sure we were doing this in the best way possible. We know toxicity as well as cheating is something that has to continuously be looked at and addressed in the game to keep the game as safe as possible. And as such, autoban and improvements to those systems is an important part for us that we're going to keep looking at this year, but we want to make sure we do it in the best way possible. To dive a bit more into quality of life updates, we'll have Justin Banks and Aurélie Géraud talk a bit more about that in a future panel today, which I'm really looking forward to. But for now, is there anything you want to share with us about life design?
As a live game, constant iterations in our design and live balance updates are critical to keeping the game feeling fun, fresh, and exciting for our players. In addition to that, players' behaviors are constantly evolving, and we need to adapt to accommodate those new behaviors all the time. Matt Spriggins will be up shortly to talk more about the huge updates that we have coming and planned for this year in regarding live balance.
And huge is not an understatement.
Not an understatement at all. But one piece of news we're happy to break right now is that we're actively working on a major rework of the Raccoon City Police Department map that we released last year during the Resident Evil chapter. We can expect to see that sometime this fall, but we will keep you updated as we near closer to the final release date.
I'm very much looking forward to playing it. It's often been a difficult map to navigate and to play for players, and I'm really looking forward to see how it can actually be brought up to the standards that we have today, and I'm looking forward. With that said, I'll jump into the events, something that really is an important aspect of the game. It allows us to move the game in a direction that's a little bit farther off the beaten path, something that's not necessarily what you'd expect from Dead by Daylight, but do that as a time-based thing allows us to really do something completely crazy sometimes and such. This is really an opportunity for us to get communities together and to generate moments you're never going to forget. I always think back of that game you played of Dead by Daylight during that specific moment of the year. As we've always done over the last few years, we'll have 4 main moments in the year that we're going to celebrate through events, which are going to be our anniversary period coming up in a few weeks from now, the Halloween period, the winter period, as well as the Lunar New Year period. These 4 events are really going to be the main ones for the year, but our cornerstone events are going to be Halloween and anniversary, since they're such big, important moments for the game. On top of those, we're also going to try and do more live activations, such as login bonuses, Blood Rush that you're all familiar with, and boosted Rift Fragments collection, so that there's a reason for everyone to come back to the game and be more excited about playing Dead by Daylight more often and be happy about the rewards they're getting through doing that. So, really looking forward to this year. It's really been an amazing one for us, and thank you so much, especially for the continued support throughout those 6 years. Thank you, everyone.
Dead by Daylight fans, I hope you're enjoying the 6th anniversary celebration of Dead by Daylight. I'm Matthias Claesen, I'm the director of the Recreational Fear Lab, and I'm here to talk to you about why people enjoy horror. Now, it might seem weird that folks like us voluntarily seek out frightening entertainment, but it's actually very common and for good scientific reason. It is part of human nature to find pleasure in playing with fear. It's what kids do when they play hide and seek, and it's what we do when we play DBD. When you're playing as a survivor, you're reenacting an ancient evolutionary drama. You're trying to stay alive in a dangerous world by outrunning and outsmarting a bloodthirsty predator. Your whole body is in survival mode, heart racing to prepare you for fight or flight. You get that invigorating adrenaline kick, and if you escape the killer, you're rewarded with a flood of feel-good neurotransmitters, such as dopamine. Playing as a killer is different. You're immersing yourself in that same ancient scenario of predation. But now it's about catching your prey and the ecstasy of the hunt. It's that same adrenaline kick, but the reward is not the nerve-tingling relief of survival. It's the exhilarating delight of victory, the thrill of the kill. So, when you play DBD, you're satisfying a primal desire for threat simulation, for playing with fear. But you're also satisfying another primal desire, namely the desire for story. Because DBD isn't just about the hunt. It's also about exploring the rich and constantly evolving narrative world of the game. Whether you're out for survival or blood, I wish you good luck on your next journey into the fog.
The killer is coming, but the generator is almost complete. What do? A. Hit the last skill check. B. Run. C. Let the killer grab you. D. Blow up the generator.
Hi there, I'm Matt, Design Director on Dead by Daylight. I work with Dave, the Creative Director, and the rest of the DBD game design team on everything from updating and balancing our existing content to the development of all our new chapters and game features. I'm really happy to be back with you once more for this 6th anniversary broadcast. The upcoming year is going to be a really big one for Dead by Daylight, so I'm excited to share 3 key updates that our team of talented designers have been working on. An overhaul of our killer and survivor perks, a rework of our approach to prestige and progression, and finally, an update on the changes to the Memento Mori system. One of the main goals for the game design team is to explore new ways that we can keep the player experience in Dead by Daylight fresh and fun for both new players entering our universe and for our highly engaged expert players with hundreds or even thousands of hours in the game. In listening to our players and reviewing our own data, we've found that some of the most consistent feedback is that in our high-level matches, meta perks have essentially taken over, meaning that players are consistently seeing the same perk loadouts again and again for every killer and every survivor. Looking at our data, there's a clear gap between the most popular perks for each role. On the killer side, these are Corrupt Intervention, Scourge Hook Pain Resonance, Barbecue and Chili, Hex Ruin, and Pop Goes the Weasel. And for survivors, Dead Hard, Decisive Strike, Borrowed Time, Iron Will, and of course, Self-Care. With little motivation to explore different perk loadouts, this can naturally lead to a feeling of gameplay becoming stale. Therefore, in the coming months, we'll be releasing a major update that will rework and rebalance roughly 40 killer and survivor perks, including the ones that I've just mentioned. This is aimed at eliminating these clear, dominant perk trends and strategies that we've been seeing in the game for a while. There will also be some small baseline gameplay adjustments that we would like to share with you a little bit closer to the release date. So, we'll keep monitoring, keep reviewing, and keep adjusting our collection of perks in this way on a more regular basis to make sure that we avoid these meta perks becoming consistent trends for extended periods, whilst opening up the gateway for new undiscovered metas to emerge. With this upcoming focus on balance, we're also working on an update to make perks easier to acquire and encourage more exploration of new combinations in perk loadouts. In an upcoming patch, we'll be releasing a rework of Dead by Daylight's prestige system, aimed at reducing the grind in the game by giving players more direct, quick, and easy access to perks, something that will improve the quality of life not only for our long-term dedicated players, but especially new players looking to get into the game. Our current prestige system is optional, and it awards a bloodied version of the base cosmetic outfit, whilst resetting the perks, add-ons, and items in the character's inventory. This update will change how this works entirely. When this feature releases, prestiging a character for the first time will instantly unlock that character's Tier 1 personal perks on all other killers or survivors, making them immediately available in their loadouts. We know that our players are hoping that the RNG gods provide them with barbecue and chili in their early blood webs. However, with this feature, you simply prestige the cannibal to prestige level 1, 2, or 3 to unlock all of Leatherface's perks at the corresponding tier for every other killer. This will significantly reduce the grind and completely eliminate the random chance needed to acquire specific teachable perks through the blood web system. Of course, it's worth mentioning the prestige level won't be capped at just 3, so you'll be able to show your dedication to a particular character by raising them well beyond that. Additionally, the act of prestiging will not remove their perks, items, or add-ons, so there's no longer an associated reset of the character, if you will. For those who haven't yet prestiged their characters, we're also working on a fair way to still reward players for their time investment and dedication once this update takes effect. Fans can expect both the prestige and perk updates to drop around the same time during a major release this summer. Finally, I would like to close things out with some news on the Mori updates that we shared last year. While it's still coming, we have slightly adjusted our approach to the system based on research, feedback, and prototyping iteration. We've arrived at something that feels more straightforward, yet still accomplishes the same goals that we set out with. The change to the system will still remove the Mori ability from offerings, focusing instead on rewarding efficient killer play, but will be incorporating the Mori animation as more of a natural ending to the match. This is something that we're currently calling the finisher Mori. When a killer downs the last survivor standing, rather than drawing things out and having them pick up and hook the survivor, we'll instead transition immediately and automatically to the killer's Mori animation, allowing them to close things out in style and in a way that you would expect from an unstoppable killing machine. There's also a few other additional changes coming with this system that we're not quite ready to share yet, but we're hoping to release the new Mori system as part of our Halloween update this year, so look out for that. While we couldn't cover all of the details of these updates in the span of one segment, anyone looking for more information can head over to our website, deadbydaylight.com, following the broadcast. Thank you as always for the support. We can't wait to get these updates into your hands as soon as possible to see your amazing reactions. Thanks again, and see you in the fog.